So solid contact, just getting solid contact consistently over 18 holes. It just, just hitting it clean. It's just such an important part of the game. Let's have a look at how we can get better contact, get better ball and ground contact here. First off, when you're looking at the masses of the people out there, getting yourself set up with a little bit more weight on your left foot, left leg, getting the shaft in one line, shaft and left arm in one line. This is really getting us closer to the position where we need to be. Now we need to have, some lateral shift, and we need the body opening. For a lot of people out there, if we get ourselves set up in a great place at the start, just by leaning this shaft over. Now we have, around 12 degrees of shaft lean at impact. In your address position, someone like a McIlroy, you can get around 10 at the start by really getting the hands further forwards on the inside of this lead thigh. Now what we need from there is a little bit of a push forwards, a little bit of lateral shift and some opening, so we can get this right knee to cover the ball. Getting the left side to, clear and extend a little bit, and getting ourselves to move forwards. So assuring that we're getting ourselves set up 60%, we're feeling a little bit more pressure on that left foot, getting ourselves set up with the hands a little bit forwards. You can keep yourself centered from here. You're going to come back down into impact, get that right knee to cover the golf ball. You're going to get yourself much more solid contact, ball, ground. Basic, clear, simple, but really, really effective. Top players are almost identical in and around impact. And when we start to understand what the great players are really doing, have a much better chance ourselves of getting into positions to hit the ball much more effectively. Let's have a look at the finish line here that I've drawn underneath the golf ball here. And for great sequence, power, lateral shift, get your body to clear, get shaft lean. Look how that knee hits the finish line before the hands do. Now I'm going to show you some amateurs here because they're doing the complete opposite coming up. They've got the hands hitting the finish line before the knee does. And we're seeing this time and time again. So the great players are really swinging really, really similar. See the bodies moving through the wall. Now the closer you get to this position, people, seriously, the better that you hit the golf ball. And we just see it with every single great player, that inside of that knee hitting the finish line before the hands do. And look where they are in relationship to this wall position. Now even with Tommy Fleetwood with the wider stance still gets the knee to the golf ball. And we just go through a few plays here, because when we look at really the facts of what's really going on, the closer you can get your body to these positions here, see that knee hitting the closer you get, you're just going to set off such a huge chain reaction on your golf swing. Even in my swing here, you'll be able to see the knee hitting the finish line and getting that lateral shift. Now when we get into impact and we look at really what they're doing, where they are, when we draw a line down from this right leg into the ankle, have a look at that number there. Now we're seeing every single time top players under 70 degrees, but when we get into the amateur players, we're seeing something much, much different. Unfortunately, what we're seeing with so many of the amateur players out there is that the hands hit the finish line before the knee does. And it is really causing problems with their sequence, their weight transference, their impact, not enough shaft lean, obviously no movement through the wall. And this creates really like a collision course. Actually, we'll tend to get the elbows to splay. And when we look at the right leg, see the number here just changes. We're into 80 degrees a lot of the time, or into the high 70s. And this is a real problem. Now what we're going to do is have a look here at how we can create a better shift, and this will set off a huge chain reaction. See the hands hitting the finish line there. This will set off a huge chain reaction on your golf swing. This is where I've been helping people online with swing analyst training from all around the world. So head on to WorldClassGolf.com. You've got unlimited contact with me. It's in conjunction with 1,400 videos. And we'll get you on the path to playing some great golf. Guys, let's have a look at some awesome drills now to clean up this area so we can all get better compression and shaft lean and a much better impact position. So guys, all right, we're looking at impact here and getting the right knee to cover the golf ball. And this move has a wonderful chain reaction on your downswing, your through swing, and of course your impact position. And I'm going to show you guys how to practice this. And it supplies a couple of things. We know we need some lateral shift in the golf swing. We have around 4 to 6 inches, and we need to open up the hips so that we get clear away through the ball. We're not creating a collision course. And these hips, if that's being 10 degrees, they can turn between 35 to 55. We're getting that PGA zone or corridor. Now, the reason I mention this is we can be technical without being mechanical, but we need to understand we need to get closer to some of these positions to consistently propel a golf ball down the line. What we're looking at here is getting the right knee to cover or be on top or over the golf ball at impact. And we want this right knee to get to this finish line or get to the golf ball before the hands do. And what it does is it assures that the knees are moving slightly towards the target, and it's a bit of a 2-in-1 movement. The less we think, the better it is. So we're going to hit some golf balls and get the right knee. It also helps, of course, when we get the right knee to the golf ball, that we have the hips out of the way. That creates some power. It creates some freedom through the golf ball. And unfortunately, a lot of the time we're seeing amateur golfers come down, and a lot of the club players really freezing up here with the knees and creating a bit of a collision course, and the elbows widening and really causing, not such a lot of different problems in and around impact. So by practicing this move, here's how we do it. It's pretty basic. You get to the top of your swing, you're keeping yourself centered, and when you're moving down, you're just getting that knee to get to the golf ball just before your hands do, and just applying a few practice swings, getting a feel for this movement, and then you can move through the ball. And it's just getting your knees to lead slightly as we get up into a nice balanced finish position. Right knee to the golf ball. It's a great swing thought. It's a great checkpoint. And if you can get in there and practice it rather than having your right knee over your right ankle at impact, this is going to really help you create a much more dynamic, free impact position to hit clean, consistent golf shots down the line. So, hi everybody. Let's have a look at a bit of a tip here for a bit of sequence. Help you guys with your impact position. Also help you with a bit of timing and getting the speed of the club to match the speed of the body a little bit better. So I've got my little clicker thing here. All right, so I'm going to stand on this thing. Now, a lot of people can't do this. I'll show you a couple of ways you do it. So I stand on it, and what I'm going to try and do is when the club touches the ground, we're going to get the click and the club on the ground at the same time. So that we're actually creating this sequence of the shaft and the right knee coming in together at impact. All right, there's another way to look at this, because I'm seeing a lot of people, when I get a lot of people to do this, this is how they do it. Actually, some guys do it, the click comes in the clubhouse, on the 19th hole, half an hour later. But you really want to have a look at this. There's another way of doing it, because you're trying to get this effect that when my first boss used to tell us that David Armstrong, a wonderful hitter of the golf ball, and played in a few British Opens and won a lot of tournaments, he used to get us to get the right hand and the right leg and just slap it on the way through, click the fingers, and then you can get this timing at impact. And that's going to get you to cover the ball. It gets the hips moving, it gets some separation from your bottom half to your top half. It's a basic thought, it's something that you can actually take out there. Right hand, right hand, right leg, right hand, right foot, right hand, right knee, and get that timing and that sequence matched up at the bottom of your swing.